Welcome to Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. In today's episode, we got Jorge Juttner. Jorge is the head of partnerships at Ritmo. Ritmo has the mission of reinventing the way the digital economy access funding. Welcome, Jorge.
I think the key for me, or the way it started, is by finding out. I was lucky enough to find out very early what I really liked, and I had an edge towards finance and economics and global economics. I think the way I found it out is because I was not particularly good in school, but I was very good in economics. So I guess that was a hint of where things should be going. That's why I decided to go into university and study that. Obviously, throughout the life, I got to meet different people, and I started to move more towards banking. I guess it's an industry that can look quite appealing for young professionals looking to, it's kind of a challenging world. You're expecting to work hard, but you're expecting to learn a lot, to grow a lot. So it's quite exciting, the idea of being part of that ecosystem. But to be fair, already in university, I had my first kind of entrepreneurial activities. I launched a business of delivering homemade bread throughout Madrid.
Okay.
I have to say it was a complete disaster. But I guess it was, I guess one of the reasons was the organization was not there, the focus was not there. So it was a lot of passion and motivation, but no plan or no guidance in terms of where you want to take things forward.
Sorry to interrupt you, Vidi. I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate you having you here on this channel, watching this video right now. And I wanted to let you know that Margin Business can help you to optimize your listing, to transit your listing, and to help you in general with the listing optimization to sell more on the European marketplaces. One more thing, please hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Thank you and enjoy.
I also had like a small business of bringing from China outdoor materials that I then sold around my community in Spain. So that was kind of, I always had that that motivation to do something on my own. But then obviously I was seduced by the quick money that the finance world could offer. So I went into banking. I joined JP Morgan. I worked first at a French bank, and then I joined JP Morgan right after I finished my university. It really met all the expectations. I mean, you work hard, you play hard, you are surrounded by super smart people who are hungry, who are, it's just when you are in university, you are surrounded by a very diverse background of people. When you are at JP Morgan, people are diverse, but in the end, they are all like top of the class. And that is quite exciting. But on the other hand, it kills your entrepreneurial spirit. It kills your excitement about coming up with innovative ideas, decisions, and bringing them forward. And that was something that I really missed. At some point, I felt that I sold my soul to money. I spent there about 4.5 years. It was an exciting time, but I thought it was time to do something else. And then one of my good friends, who is also a founder at Ritmo, he shared with me the idea of the project, what he was doing, what he had in mind, he already had a team of founders with him to take things forward. And he said, why don't you join us at this stage? And I found it was an amazing opportunity to build something from scratch. This is all to say that the idea was not mine. I didn't set up the grounds of Ritmo, but I was lucky enough to join at the very, very early stage, if not at the very beginning. And it was, I truly feel like I truly have a feeling of ownership with the company.
Okay.
And
just one question. Sorry. So just one question to go just back before we go into all what Ritmo has to offer. And I just have a question about the JP Morgan. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's very interesting. How did you go? How did you get into a bank like this? I mean, there must be somebody who recruited you, or did you apply actually?
Look, to be fair, it's kind of a I guess the short answer is because I wanted it more than other people,
Okay.
and really that's the answer. I mean, my background, I didn't went to a private school, one of those expensive universities. I don't come from a background that has a connection to the banking industry, so it was much tougher, I would say. But I guess I did much more to merit to get into the industry. I did my CFA program by the age of 23. That's usually something people do at the age of 30.
Okay.
I was the youngest person in the history of Spain in completing the full program.
Wow.
I initiated it at the age of 21, and then I finished it 2 years later. I also introduced myself into the network of investment banking. I went to several events with Morgan Stanley and a few other banks. I founded a trading association, so to say, at the university. And then I organized events with several investment banks at the university. So I guess I was solely focused on getting into banking. And then I put more efforts into achieving that. I guess that's the only reason. Then at some point, I simply applied online, which may sound kind of basic, but I went online, JP Morgan career. I put my application through, and by then I had a huge network in several banks. I had interviewed with many of them. Actually, JP Morgan, by the time I got in, it was 2017. They had been rejecting me since 2014. I guess once you interview, and actually in 2015, I received 52 rejections from banks. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you do the same interview 120 times, once you get to the people at JP Morgan, to the final one, you know exactly what to expect. And then you just kill it. And I think that's what I did on the last one, obviously. I did like a full master degree in interviewing in banking. So at some point, by the time I got to the last stage, things were easier. So I think that that would be the way for me to go.
Okay, there was like a training for you actually. The other 52 applications you were rejected, and the last one was a good one. But the question why I asking this question is because JP Morgan is not just like a bank. It's the bank, and in order to go there, you don't just knock on the door and handle your CV in, or like you said, apply online. They watch you. They check your background, they check your connections, they look at the events, what you're doing, because you've done some groundwork before you actually went in. It's not like they came into the school, although you're one of the best, what you said in Madrid when you did the CFA. But I'm sure they have seen this already. They were already on the because you make noise when you do things like that. That's why I'm asking this question, to make people understand that this is really something special.
Exactly. And I think the point is exactly that. Like the first time I applied to a bank was JP Morgan in 2014 or 2013 even. I don't even remember. I think it was 2014. They rejected me immediately, and that's why you start thinking, why did they reject you? Why do you have to offer? And that's when you start building this whole machinery or infrastructure around you in order to become an eligible candidate. And that includes having some previous work experience. So I went and worked for one of my bosses at university during my first year in university. I was working part-time for him in a corporate finance boutique. I went and then some like voluntary working. I developed a humanitarian project in Kenya for 3 summers in a row. I did the trading association at university. I went into my CFA program. I went into the events from Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Citibank, Goldman Sachs. So at some point you create a full ecosystem, and even though you don't have the background that other people may have, you understand the business much better. By the time you get to an interview, they feel that you are one of them.
You've done your homework, yeah.
Exactly. It's like if you go to a wedding dressed with sports clothes, that you would look weird. Now, if you speak the language of the people in the wedding, you wear the same clothes, you dress the same, your hair looks the same, your shoes look the same. You can walk around in the wedding and nobody will notice you are kind of different. They will assume you're a peer. So I guess you put to work a full strategy or all your efforts around building a profile that would match the expectations of the people you are expecting to work with.
That's I think that's very interesting, and as well very good advice for everyone who wants to go into profession or being searching entrepreneurs, which are searching for entrepreneurs which they can learn from. They have to really adapt to them and behave like them and be like them. It's like you said, you have to go your 100% in there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not pro bank at all. So this is one of my, I don't really like banks. I'm very pro crypto. So you can imagine, I don't like paying bank fees. I don't like paying bank wires. So yeah, I'm very, I think you have seen this as well. After 4.5 years, you said, this is as well not your world. So I guess you understand what I mean. And you have seen it yourself very, very closely.
I think the message here needs to be extrapolated into how do you go into banking? No, I don't think that's the message. I think the message is how do you do anything in life where you want to achieve something, no? And then the goal is you need to want it more than more people. That's simply the case. There was this interview, they interviewed Justin Bieber a few years ago. I don't remember where they interviewed him, but they asked him, well, why do you think you got where you got? Why do you think you are where you are? And his answer was, because I want it. And then the guy asked, well, but a lot of people want to be famous and have a lot of money and then travel the world and live in Hollywood and so on. He said, well, I wanted it more. And I guess when you really want something, you find the ways to showing to the world that you want something. And that's the only way. I mean, this is, if you want to have a nice body, if you want to have a nice job, if you want to have a nice girlfriend, if you want to learn something, it all comes down to the same. No, it comes down to think things through, put all your efforts in doing that. Don't be lazy. Don't find excuses. And that's really, I think, the conclusion that I would like to share. No.
No, it's really good. Take action. That's that's one of the most important points. What I'm always saying. And there is the motivation. What obviously speaks in you. There is something which entrepreneurs have most of the time. They are self-motivating, like you now. Because who else would then? I mean, go into a job like working at one of the biggest banks in the world. Do 4.5 years, learn what he can learn, understands, and just walks out. Most of the people they would stay in there if they don't have this drive in them and just do it, run it up to the end, and that's it. But you knew already that your purpose is somewhere else, and I think really it's an amazing beginning of your success. I mean, I don't think that you arrived now, because Ritmo might just be one point where you want to stand, and then you're moving on from that, because that's what I can see in your professional career right now. Just one question, motivation. I mean, you're motivated. What does motivate you every morning or every day why you do all what you do?
So I think it's something which is within but what terrifies me is the possibility of at some point in my life look back and not having done enough. That's I can spend one day in the couch watching TV. That's fine. If I spend 3 days in a row, I would look back and think, what the fuck did you do over the last 3 days? And I don't want to get to a point. I'm lucky enough that every time I look back, 1 quarter, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I always feel like I've grown a lot. I am terrified about the possibility of looking back and not having that feeling of having grown a lot. And I think that's the what pushes. It's obviously, I think I'm a lazy person. I think everyone is lazy. I think that's natural. But being lazy for too long is only counterproductive. So even working hard is hard by definition. No, that's what hard means, and it's painful. And doing things is painful. But thinking back and feeling that you could have done more, I think could be even more painful. So I wouldn't forgive myself if I look back 10, 20 years down the road and say you didn't try more. You were you were comfortable enough not to push yourself. You got to a point where you went into a stagnant situation. That really terrifies me. And the only thing I can do to avoid being terrified by that feeling in the future is avoiding doing nothing, and that's what I think pushes me to do more. I think that's it.
Okay.
And obviously with everything that comes along, then you realize the journey is quite fun when you speak to people, when you learn new things, when you travel around, when you develop ideas, when you even when you party, and it's but when you try to squeeze out from any situation, and that includes reading the newspaper, speaking to a person, going to a restaurant, traveling around, that's when you aim to squeeze everything that you are in touch with, the feeling is super encouraging to keep doing so. I mean, once you try the excitement of living intensively, if you stop doing it, you get bored, and at some point, I don't think I'd have fun in life if I didn't think of things like this.
No, that's very true what you're saying. For example, when you say this, there's as well the banking background, which is very interesting, because then you can the progress in your life is measured by 3 months, 6 months. And 1 year. So if this is where the banking mentality comes in. You cannot stay, at one point or going down. You need to go up. There is no way. You need either in personal development, either in business, or in any other. Maybe your body needs to look better. It's in any. You need to move on. There is no way that you look back, or that you have no goal. Like in the next 3 months, I need to achieve this and this and this. If you are, if you're from the banking system, it's even better, because you have this basis that you pushed permanently all the time. And I guess this still sticks with you, which I can hear in your where you talk about the quarterly,
and also,
6 months.
It needs to be relatively short term, because the issue with long-term goals is that there is a disconnection between the action that you take now and the end result.
Yes.
And this is very important. If your goal is to be a billionaire in California, what is the action that you take now to get to that goal? That it doesn't make sense. The goal needs to be, as you were saying, what can I improve in my job? What is my objective for this thing? Can I improve my personal relationships over the next, like now, today? Can I learn something over the next few weeks? And that's what allows you to look back on a monthly or quarterly basis and always say, I am better off than I was 3 months ago. Obviously, that doesn't mean you don't have problems and you don't go through up and down.
Sure.
But you should be focused on making sure that there's some progress when you look back 3 months ago. And there's a cumulative effect on this. If you do the right thing many times, the end goal will ultimately be there. But focusing on the end goal creates a disconnection between the actions that you need to take at present and the end goal, and that creates a mess and it becomes unachievable. So I think it's maybe it's the companies or CEO companies, they always have the pressure of quarterly earnings. I think that's kind of it. Every quarter I need to ask myself what I've done, and if I haven't done anything, I need to make sure I have something to tell myself I'm proud of. So that's what I have, that short-term mentality, I guess.
I think that's really good. I think as well, too long, like 10 years looking in the future it's it's a bit abstract, a little bit less maybe for the company, but not for personal. can you tell us a little bit more about Ritmo, what you're doing, and yeah, the whole process, how it works?
Yeah, well, given I've been in banking now for a few years, I see many cool things about it, but I also see many flaws of the industry. That's why when I found out about the idea of Ritmo, which Ritmo is nothing but a financing platform for digital businesses. Okay, at JP Morgan, if you want to get financing, the process is a mess. You'll need to sign several documents. You need to meet many people. It will go through several credit departments or risk departments. It will take time. If you want to get a mortgage to buy a house, it's more of the same thing. Now, can you access financing in 24 hours easily without going through that painful process? The answer is that through technology you can. And this is obviously something I didn't know until I got to know this. And that's why I thought it was quite exciting. I was looking at the possibility to say, man, this is really going to change the way we understand financing. You know, you don't need to go through a painful process. You can, in a few clicks, you can have the money in your account. So what we do at Ritmo is, again, it's a financing platform whereby we unlock value from the future sales of companies, and we put it on the table in the form of financing now so that they can accelerate growth. What I do personally, I'm the head of partnerships in the company, although I also have a stake because I was quite excited. So I put some, if not all of my savings into the latest financing round. And what we do is we try to create alliances that add value to the end customer. So the idea is for 1 to 1, 1 plus 1 to be 3 instead of 2. And that's what I try to look at partners. So we are developing a technology. Let's take a marketplace, for example. Let's take Amazon. Obviously, we cannot negotiate with Amazon yet, although I'm sure we will at some point. But Amazon offers e-commerce businesses a possibility to sell a lot. They can sell anything, they can reach any market, they can do that in an efficient manner, etc. Now, if they could also get financing for their inventory, for their marketing campaigns, to hire people, to grow the businesses in general, in one click, that would be more than getting financing on one side and then a marketplace on the other side. So what I am trying to do is building strategic relationship with people that own our end customer, so that we can complement our services in order to create a more value-added service. That's pretty much what I do and where we stand.
Okay, so if somebody wants, for example, is on Amazon and wants either, let's say, wants a credit in order to accelerate growth, Ritmo is the right place. And as well, at the same time, if he wants to hire staff, extra staff, if he wants to get bigger, get more inventory, for example, he can come as well to you. So it's not only that you wire the money into the Amazon account, you could literally give it to them and they work with you, maybe on a strategy, maybe you help them as well with strategy, how they can do, or you just push them the money over and say, listen, this is it. You take it from here. We just finance you.
So our model, and maybe I should have worked through that before, it's what's called revenue-based finance, which means we put money on the table and you repay very flexibly by giving back a percentage of sales going forward. So let's say I give you 200,000 euros for you to buy inventory. Every time you sell, you will give me 10%, for example, until you've repaid the full amount. So the way that we will look at an operation, and that's why it's very seamless and fast, is we will connect, you go through our website, GetRitmo.com, and then you connect to Amazon Seller Central. That will put all your data in our algorithm. We will make a projection of sales, and then we will unlock value against those sales. Now, we believe, and this is maybe something other competitors may not do, we believe that it's the entrepreneur who understands its business, and it's the entrepreneur who knows how to grow the business. Therefore, we will not tell the guy what to do with the money. we can advise him because we have internal people who are experts in digital marketing. We have people who are experts in trade finance and can help you with the inventory management. But if you want to use the money to improve your website or any other thing, that's really up to you, because we will put the funds in your account and you will decide what to do. Now, at the same time, we are building a network of partnerships, like Margin Business, for example, who provide different services that add value. That means I am in touch with clients, with e-commerce businesses all the time, and with Amazon sellers all the time. Just this morning, for example, I was speaking to one of the guys who said, "Look, my issue is that I pay too much for PPC. Can you give me money to invest more in PPC so that I can convert?" And my answer was, "Look, we can put the money, but we have a partner in Barcelona that reduces your PPC cost while increasing your revenues." So what I'm trying to say with this is that we've built a network of partners that creates an ecosystem of value add to the client. We put the money, we can give advice on a few things, but we know the best people out there for optimizing your listings. If you want to expand, how do you take care of traductions and all those things so that you make sure that you are reaching, using the right language? Are you using the right software to optimize your inventory? Do you have a fulfillment company that takes care of your stuff, or do you do FBA? So all those things, we are able to provide support through our partners at the time that we put the money on the table. The idea here is to professionalize e-commerce businesses for them to build the next generation of retail consumption, which is what's going on. I mean, we can, this is happening. It may take 3 years. I believe with our service and the service of our partners, it can be faster, because the clients become more professional, and then they can add more value, and that will attract more consumers, therefore accelerating the shift from traditional retail to e-commerce. And that, I think that's our end goal, if I would have to say it in one sentence.
Okay, so it's very complete what you're actually offering. And yeah, like I said, I think it will be much faster than 3 years. We see the shift already coming. There's a lot going on, and it's good like that. You know, the industry needs to change. We are shifting into full digital now, and yeah, let's. I really believe that it's going to be very, very fast and very good, like for everyone. You know, and as well, it's not only Amazon that you are serving. Which marketplace do you actually can help with? I mean,
I think that's one of the other good things I think of the solution. Now we are multi-channel because e-commerce businesses are multi-channel. This means many clients that we speak to, it's true that most of them have a big chunk of their sales in Amazon, but others have OnBuy, Frugo, AliExpress, own website, Shopify. So, for example, Amazon financing or Amazon lending program, they can finance you against the business that you have with Amazon. Through our platform, you can connect all your accounts: Stripe, PayPal, Shopify, Amazon Seller Central, PrestaShop, WooCommerce, Magento. So that allows us to be much more relevant, because we can give you money for your whole business, not only for the Amazon business. And that multi-channel capabilities, I think it's quite worth. I think that may be one of our highest value added, that we don't exclusively focus on one marketplace, but we have a holistic view of your business.
Okay, that sounds really good. Where can any potential customer or anyone who has questions get in contact with you or with the company? What's the website, and maybe your email address as well?
Yeah, I think best is you said it. It's either through the website. It's GetRitmo.com. So GetRitmo.com, and then you can do the registration, and then our team will take good care of you. Okay. I think we are quite proud of is our customer support is I mean, we are very on top of clients. We make sure. Very I think good. Maybe this is because of my background in banking, but it's not it's a tech company, but I make sure that you feel the love of a traditional banker. That's on one side, and the other one is you can reach out to me directly, and then I will connect you to the team. So my email is jorge@getritmo.com, and then I'll make sure that I can forward that to the relevant people to take care of.
Okay, that sounds really good. One more question I have for you. do you have any message for entrepreneurs or who want to be entrepreneurs out there?
I would say, I mean, initially I would say give it a try, but I would also say think things through. The landscape is competitive. Don't be an entrepreneur for the sake of being an entrepreneur. Think things through. Think of a process. Think of a strategy. Think of all the necessary steps. Because if you just go out there with an idea that you won't be able to execute, someone with a good execution capability will take over very soon, and that's going to be very frustrating. So obviously go out there and try. I think our generation is not used to making business if it's not in the corporate world. I was having dinner with a friend yesterday. He said, man, I don't know how to make money. I only know how to do what my boss says and then I get paid, but I don't really know.
I know.
So give it a try. There is ways of making an income which are different from the corporate world. But it's true that don't run around like a headless chicken. Try to have a plan, try to think things through, and then the chances of succeeding will be much higher, obviously.
Okay, that's I think it's a really good advice, and we close this down with this last advice from you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Jorge, and
this was fun. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you so much.
See you soon.
Okay, catch you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.